So I'm out for my run with Molly here, and this is basically the time that I get to kind of process my thoughts, and it's really the only time my wife and I get to get out and be away from the kids, which is not a bad thing. It's kind of a blessing in the sense that we get to spend so much time with them and play with them and all that, but at the same time, it's good to get out. And normally I would go to a coffee shop for a couple hours and do some writing, listen to some music, watch a little YouTube, kind of collect myself. But as you know, those days are over. So what I figured I'd do instead of doing that is I'm going to start blogging a little more often, just to kind of process my thoughts. Basically, this is for nobody else other than myself, and kind of a way for me to kind of think through this whole process of what's going on. And one thing that really has been striking me a lot lately, and a lot of the conversations I've been having with a lot of the instructors, some that I work with and some online, is the fact of empathy and extending grace to our students. And so that's kind of the process that I'm going to go through in this vlog today.
Now, my colleague sent me an email the other week, and it was from a student. And I'm not going to give any names or anything, but here's the situation. Is a student emailed asking for help because she is having a hard time keeping up with the course load. Now, granted, in the course that I teach, it's fairly fast-paced anyways, even if it is face-to-face. She was having a hard time keeping pace with printing off PowerPoints. She's having a hard time keeping pace with printing off worksheets, getting the work done, attending the online synchronous sessions that we hold once a day. She was having a hard time doing all that just in regular life. On top of all of that, she had a special needs child that she needed to take care of. Childcare was no longer an option for her. So now she has to deal with her special needs child, and the only time she was able to get any work done was when they were sleeping, or if they were on some sort of screen time, which again takes up the bandwidth, takes up the computer, takes up all the resources that she needed. So what she was doing was trying to download and print off as much information as she could, and then to watch the videos and to catch up with the sessions that night. And then this just hits my point home again, that our students have lives outside of our classroom. And I know that seems like such an obvious statement to make, but I just want to say it again. Our students have lives outside of our classroom. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes it's easy to get caught up in our own situation. We're all dealing with this teaching and the COVID thing. It's not easy. We're struggling with things. We have childcare issues. We're trying to have Zoom meetings with kids playing around us. We've got bandwidth issues as we're trying to have our Zoom meetings with our classes, and our kids need to be in their meetings, and our kids also are watching YouTube, and bandwidth is an absolutely huge situation. All these things that we are dealing with, our students are dealing with as well. And on top of that, sometimes the stakes might be a little higher for them. Our students are being thrust into these situations, and as frustrating as it was for us to throw all of our material online and to get this all working through and getting it all figured out, and just think about the stress we've gone through, think about the stress that they're going through. What are some of the struggles that you're hearing from your students? Please just share in the comments down below. We are not alone in all of this, and we need to share these stories. These stories are so very important, and we need to share our stories of our students. And if you're a student, please comment below with some of the stories that you have, the struggles you have with going online. Let's give you a voice. This is a place for you to be heard, a place for you to share why this is hard. You don't have to go into the gory details if you don't want to, but please help us instructors understand the context at which this is becoming very difficult for you. And by doing that, by sharing your story, we can maybe come up with some helps. I'm not saying we're going to fix everything, but we can come up with some solutions. Now, I have some ideas for some solutions myself, and I'm going to share those in the next part. But first, I promised my kids I would take them out for a bike ride, and so that's what I'm going to do. Some of the things that I think that we can be doing to show empathy for our students is we need to really consider their experience. And one of the things that I find is working really well and is kind of helps take into account a lot of what our students are going through is the whole asynchronous versus synchronous sessions. What we're doing is we have a session that goes on once per day, and it's generally for about 2 hours, at the most 2 to 3 hours. And we offer little mini lectures in that time, and we work through examples and all that good stuff. But what we're also doing is we're recording those sessions, taking into account that our students, not all of them will be able to attend the synchronous sessions. So we make sure that they are also available in an asynchronous format, meaning we record all our sessions and we throw them on our learning management system so that our students can review them later. As well as our students who were actually in the synchronous sessions, it's nice because they can go back and go through the lectures again and pick up any things that they've missed. So that's one thing I would suggest is, yes, if you have to have synchronous sessions, definitely I get that, have your synchronous sessions, but also have an avenue that the students who can't attend, and there are some that legitimately can't attend your synchronous sessions, have an avenue for them to come back and be able to review the material as well.
Another thing I think we can consider doing is possibly not overloading our students. And it's so easy these days with our learning management systems, and especially we want to make sure that they're getting as much work and as much stuff into them as possible, to just dump as much work as we can into our learning management systems. And so what I would suggest is we kind of go deep but not wide, meaning that we take a look at our assessments, take a look at our worksheets, and see how can our students get the most out of it. Can we get deeper on some assignments and just get rid of some of the others that are just busy work? We don't want to overload them. This is not an easy time. Online learning isn't easy anyways, but doing it by just dumping tons of information at them, tons of worksheets, tons of readings, tons of information, it just overwhelms and does not work.
So my final point, and this is by no means the final point at all on this. In fact, I would love to hear, as instructors, what are some of the ways you're showing empathy for your students? Maybe make a comment down below. And students, what are some of the ways that your instructors are showing empathy towards you as you're going through this? Or what are some of the ways that we could show empathy towards you? Like, what are some of the things that we could be doing better? Now, the last point I want to make, and I got off a call today, and it was so much fun and so inspiring to be on with eCampus Ontario. And we had like 25, 26 instructors there discussing this whole problem. One thing that kept coming up was communication. And we need to stay in communication with our students. At this point, honestly, I don't think we can over communicate with them. Post little things like have a social presence, post a little video. A lot of our learning management systems allow us to just have a little quick video that we can post. Or if you're more into making videos, just go ahead and make a YouTube video and post it to your class. Check in with them. Use that news feed function that is in our LMSs. Check in, send emails. Just make sure you are over communicating. Our students are feeling scared enough. They don't need to feel like they're alone. No longer is this instructor in front of the classroom anymore. There is no front of the classroom. So if that's the case, why not bring the students into the discussion? And why don't we make them collaborators? So it's just some things that I just were kind of sitting on my mind. This video has taken me like a week and a half to make, only because it's just so incredibly busy, and time is of the essence. So actually I'm on my way right now to go drive and pick up some groceries, which seems to be a daily occurrence, especially when you have kids that are eating out of house and home. So that's all I really wanted to go into today. Again, please, I would love to hear what other people are doing in regards to this. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. Please comment down below. There will be another one coming out. I've got another plan for another one I'm going to start tomorrow, which means you should have it some more time by the end of next week, but we'll see. Please, everybody, stay safe out there, stay at home, and please always remember that your students have lives outside of your classroom. We'll see you next time.